So I just started my third Farmertec 361 clone of the Stihl 361. I sat and stared at the cylinder on this one for a while and kind of contemplated how I wanted to put the saw together. The first two 361s I did, one of them was assembled as is, and this was the jug off of that one. The second saw I bought the big bore kit for, and then I had taken this cylinder off the first one, and I had gone in and I had opened up the lower transfers with a hand file, and I just pretty much had enlarged the lower transfers and done nothing else to those previous two saws, and they ran well. I did not put a timing wheel on them. I don't know where the timing numbers were, and both of them were assembled dual port muffler and base gasket delete. Well, this one, now this saw, I have taken a little more time, and I've kind of thought of, okay, instead of just hogging out the transfers, where am I having issues on getting airflow to the transfers? So with the case half split originally, what I had done, I just laid the jug on, and I put the cylinder in, and I just used my finger in the exhaust port and held it flush, kind of thinking that that might be bottom dead center. And I had kind of taken a look, and in the video it's very hard to see, but these aftermarket piston windows are small. There's a fair bit of casting flash in the windows of the piston, and it was kind of blocking, and there really wasn't the best path of travel to get air cleanly to those lower transfers. So what I have done is I have taken, now these pistons are the same, both Farmertec kit pistons. You can see the piston I'm going to use, I have taken all the casting imperfections off, kind of rounded things out, and I did grind away a little bit, you can see on that bottom web, and by lowering that I am actually matching the transfer port a little better. And on the inside, I'll try to get a better view of that. On the inside, I just took after I got done kind of grinding, I took the diamond ball and tried rounding everything off. So now I've got nicer piston windows that will hopefully feed the lower transfer better. But also in the thinking of it is I took, let's see here, I went just about to the divider and I raised the opening in that lower transfer. So now if I go back to this cylinder, the untouched one, you can see there's a lip there. And I did not have a factory 361 cylinder to compare against. The pictures I've seen, the transfer ports, the passage for that transfer port looks bigger on a factory cylinder. So again, I raised that to the divider so I can get more airflow to it. And I didn't go crazy, but I did round off and open up so the air can travel into that transfer better. Now I did also just ever so slightly widen these edges, and it was just so, let me get these two together. If you can see here on the untouched one, that lower transfer passage is not as wide as where the piston windows are. I mean, it kind of matches up with the windows, but then there's material on the edge. So with the one that I am modifying a little bit, now I have more free-flowing air. Let me just get a bit handle on this here. I have what to me looks like more free-flowing air through the piston window. The piston's going to sit about there. Oops, I moved it again. Through the piston window and into that transfer port, the lower transfer. Sorry for my shaky hands. So just kind of thinking of, again, this entire build is not hogging out ports necessarily, but just thinking of reducing, what would I say? Reducing blockages, you know, promoting that airflow. The intake, I roughed up a little bit. Now I did widen it just a hair, and I did do a little bit of that lung shape on the top side of the intake. The exhaust, I widened it just ever so slightly, and I still have to chamfer these ports yet. Now the transfers, I did have to take the diamond ball. There was quite an edge, and I cleaned up a little bit back towards the intake so that scavenging effect of when that air comes in, I don't know if I can get it to focus, maybe there. Hopefully, so I can get that air a little more smoothly towards the intake side as the piston comes down and as it washes out the combustion chamber with that fresh air. Now, I'm not going to go any bit hog wild. I got to check gasket size and the muffler inlet size, but I don't know that I'm going to go necessarily hog wild on the exhaust port. Going to do the base gasket delete with this one again. So on the timing wheel, I set it up, and as it sits, now I do not have the capabilities to machine a skirted cylinder, so I'm just going to leave it as is, and this is just a firewood saw. I have 36 thousandths squish, and I checked that in 3 spots, and it all matched. Exhaust opens at 104 degrees, transfers are at 126 for 22 degrees of blowdown, and my intake's at 72 for 144 duration. So from what I've read, from what I've kind of gathered on other online videos, that seems to be good numbers for, you know, this being a work saw. So from here, just going to kind of clean up, and I'm going to take the diamond wheel or the diamond ball, and I just got to clean up all of the grinding I did. Like I said, I'm going to double check the muffler or the exhaust port, but I don't know that I'm going to go hog wild. I've got a gut this aftermarket muffler, and I do a dual port on these. I just weld on a little piece of pipe. It's about 9/16. So take care of that. And then I did also get I have a factory Walbro carburetor that I'm going to throw on this saw. The 2 previous ones, I did a 290 440 carb conversion. They ran well. They started hard warm. I do also I have yet to get the factory tank vent for this one, or might need it, might not. Hopefully I don't. But just gonna kind of do a couple OEM things. I have an OEM intake boot, some other OEM rubber pieces. So just small OEM stuff, but mostly still straight kit components. So we'll see kind of how she does. Not gonna do any timing advance on this one. At least from what I read on the OEM saws, they really didn't need much of a timing advance, so I'm gonna leave it as is. We'll see how that works. But that's just kind of it's kind of the meat and potatoes of how this build is gonna go, and once I get it together, I'll I'll do a little wrap-up video and hopefully get a video of it cutting soon here. So again, opened up lower transfers a little bit wider on intake and exhaust, and just opened up real nice, you know, increase the size of the piston windows. So we'll see how she does.